Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. White. We're going to do one of our normal activities that we're going to do when we're in school, but remote learning. And so, as you can see, I have one of my buddies here, the spiny dogfish shark. And we are going to dissect it so that you can see. And I have some people to help me. I have Kara and I have Caroline. They are so excited. Are you excited, guys? Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the shark first. So, as you can see, this shark is pretty big. He's about 3 feet long. I took him out of a preservative, and of course he's already dead. And remember, this fish is part of the cartilaginous fish, the class, do you remember? It's chondrichthyes, so make sure you write that down. And he has some differences than the yellow perch that we dissected. Caroline, can you see any differences he might have?
It looks like it doesn't have scales on them.
Yeah, it doesn't have scales. Guys, feel here. He has different kind of scales. It's rough like sandpaper, and it's placoid scales. They're like teeth, and they're actually rough. Caroline, what did you tell me the other day that you've read? That if you brush against them, what can happen?
It'll, the scales.
Yeah, the scales will come off, and it can even give you a brush burn. Remember that? Yep. So we're just gonna look at some external anatomy first. This is the belly side or ventral side of the shark. It's lighter colored, you can see, and its mouth is ventral. Unlike the regular fish that the mouth is at the top, this is the dorsal side of the fish. Of course, anterior, the nose, posterior, the tail or caudal fin. So that's pretty much the basic external structures of the shark. So now let's look at some of the fins and other external structures that the shark has. So let's get a little closer. And we have the caudal fin here. It's a tail. And you can tell the top lobe is bigger than the bottom. That's called heterocercal. And it helps them balance. Did you want to ask a question about the caudal fin?
Why is the tail cut off like half?
Okay, so I ordered injected sharks. So sharks, all of their internal structures are kind of the same color, tannish, and it makes it easier to see if they inject dye into the shark. And the way they do that is they cut the tail and inject the dye right into here in its veins and arteries. It also makes it easier to pack. That's a good question.
So is that why it's pink?
Yes, that's why it has some pink on the outside. That's not blood, that's actually dye. And when we cut it open, you'll see some things that aren't naturally colored. They dye it so we can see it better. It's like coloring. You can see here, we have a fin on its back. It also has some spikes. It used to have a really bad, dangerous spike here, but they cut it off there at the biological company so we don't hurt ourselves. Anybody know what this fin is called? It starts with a D.
Dorsal fin.
Yeah, good job, both of you. Dorsal fin. And it really only has one dorsal fin, this shark. This dorsal fin is pretty famous in sharks. But some sharks have more than one dorsal fin. Then you have these chest fins that act like paddles. They're called paired fins. They start with a P. Anybody remember chest? Pectoral fins. Yes, pectoral fins. Then underneath on the ventral side, it has these pelvic fins. This one's a girl. If it wasn't a girl, it would also have longer pectoral fins called claspers. And so you can see the mouth, the nostrils. You can zoom in on the eyes. We'll look at that more carefully. It does have a lateral line. If you zoom in really closely here, can you see it right here? And the lateral line's for balance, just like a regular fish. It detects movement in the water and allows it to balance. It also has these things called spiracles, which allow water to go in for the gills. And it also has dark marks up here called the ampules of Lorenzi. Sharks have this really cool way of detecting electromagnetic waves, and it's another sense, almost like a sixth sense they have. They have a good sense of smell, good sense of sight. They also have this extra sense. Some of the other things you can see is it does have jaws, so you can actually kind of open its mouth a little bit, and it has spiky teeth in there. And you can see this one was actually kind of eating something, so we're going to kind of see that. We're going to look a little more closely, but its teeth are pretty small comparatively. You can see its nares or nostrils ventrally too. The coloring is cool. Lighter on the ventral side, darker on the dorsal side. I really like how it feels like sandpaper. It really feels rough from those placoid scales. And fish, one thing you notice, this fish is heavy. Feel how heavy it is. The body is much more dense and muscular. Much more dense and muscular than a bony fish. Also, they don't have the bones in these fins. Remember with the yellow perch, they had like bones, ray fin fish. These are more muscular. This is a muscular fish. It's also missing something here. These are its gill slits. All sharks have between 5 and 7 gill slits. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gill slits. What's it missing here that the fish had? Remember? It was like a flap. Yeah, a gill cover called an operculum, and this doesn't have it. Interesting that the gill cover lets the fish suck in water and push it out, but sharks have to keep moving because they don't have a gill cover. So that's kind of another difference between the chondrichthyes, which a shark is in, cartilaginous fish, and the bony fish. That's pretty much, this is called the rostrum. That's the nose. It's just the anterior end, the rostrum. And we already said the caudal tail. I think that's pretty much all of the external features that we're going to look at. And so we're going to cut the fish open in a minute. So we're ready for the internal structures. Now, like I said, this chondrichthyes shark, it's spiny dogfish shark. And it is a female. And so we're going to open it. I think I mentioned to you students before we left that I did order ones that could potentially have babies. They may or may not. But they do sell them that way that could potentially have babies, so we'll have to see. Right now, I'm going to, that's a staple that just kind of held it to the bag so it didn't like fall around. Yeah. So I'm going to inject my scissors right in here, and I'm going to start to cut, but then I'm going to pass it on to Caroline if she wants to cut a little bit. Remember, you have to lift it up and cut through just muscle and skin because we don't want to cut any of the internal organs. So, here I'm going to cut along this. My idea is to be cutting kind of a U shape so we can just remove a flap of the skin and see what's inside of the shark. So Caroline, you want to go ahead and do some cutting and I'll hold the muscle. Yeah. So kind of do pull up, if that makes sense. Yep. Move that pectoral fin. Never know. Let's look. Okay, so pectoral fin, move that up, cut all the way up past the pectoral fin. And Kara, you can do the cutting on your side if that's okay.
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 It's very strong.
I know, it's really muscular, isn't it?
Yes.
Compared to the bony fish, it's harder to cut because it has a lot of muscle and it's denser.
Yes.
Sharks have a hard time staying up in the water because they're so heavy. That's why they have to swim so fast. They don't have a swim bladder. Remember the yellow perch had that swim bladder that let it float? They don't have a swim bladder, so they have to kind of. Yep. All right, Kara. Why don't we do this and you can cut on your side. I'll make a cut like this. It's really muscular.
Okay.
I see where they injected it into the
Yes.
Where did they inject?
Okay, hold
Do
on.
you see that right here? It's all pink.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna show you that in just a second. The cool thing is the shark's pretty big, so you can see things better than in the fish or the squid. Kara, I'm going to let you take these scissors and cut right up this way. And you can already, as Caroline said, you can kind of see the injections. Remember to do shallow cuts, Kara. So you might not be strong enough. That's hard, isn't it? All right, go ahead. You want me to do some? You want to hold it and I'll cut it? Okay. Okay, you're gonna move this hand. Yep. Look at that. As Kara opens this up, can you see the injections? How it dyed the veins and arteries blue and red and yellow?
Yeah.
That's just to help us see things. It's not really the natural color. It's just to help us see things in the shark, and that's why they took the tail off because they wanted us to be able to see things. So here comes the shark, and we're removing muscle, the ventral side of the muscle. Sharks are so strong because they really have to carry this heavy body through.
This part.
Okay, so one thing I want you to do is feel this. This is the liver. Check it out. And it is really what? Can you feel it?
Slimy.
Slimy. It's oily. In fact, have you ever heard of fish oil? Some people take it as like a vitamin. Well, the liver is oily. At first, it helps the fish because it removes things from the blood, but it actually helps it float. And the liver is so oily, it can produce more liver oil so that it can float. So this is the biggest gray structure you see. And we're just gonna kind of pull that baby out because it's in our way. Yep. Okay, easy, easy, easy. Yep. That's the liver. Okay, and you can see there's veins in it and arteries.
Whoa, look,
it's really squishy and gross,
Look,
right?
there's a
So there's the
stretching
liver.
vein.
Yep.
Oh, it's like a thread.
Yep. Yep. And the liver has several lobes. You see there's the liver on this side too. So the lobes of the liver are on both sides. You see that? So we're going to remove the liver because it kind of gets in our way. The other thing we can see here is we can see this fish, and we can see this is its stomach right here. This is its stomach. And I bet if we open up its stomach, you can tell it's a stomach because it leads right to the mouth. You see that?
I see that.
We're going to check out the stomach and see if this fish recently ate something.
I feel like it did.
So, Kara, why don't you do some cutting because, you do some cutting, exactly, of the stomach. So cut right here. I'll start it and then you cut, okay? So this is the stomach. In the front it would be the esophagus. This is called the spiracle valve. It's got like kind of its intestine, but you can tell because it's kind of striped. This is
I see it. It's
more
very, like,
this would be
squishy.
poop, right?
Oh!
But this is stuff that's probably not digested yet. I bet we find some fish in here.
Yeah, I think
something
we
that
can.
it ate. So
I'm
let's check
guessing
it out.
that it ate recently because when we looked at the mouth,
This belly is full.
Yes,
This is a piggity wiggity shark.
Because
Look at this.
when
It
we
ate
looked
a
at the mouth.
fish just about the size of itself. Do you see that? I mean, that's huge. For this shark to eat a fish that big, really gross. Little pieces of fish, but flip it over. You see that? It ate a fish almost
It
as
looks
big as
like it
itself.
was swimming like.
Yeah, you could tell that it ate a fish literally as big as itself. So,
oh, there's fish juice
sharks,
in there.
The eyes.
sharks are major predators. They eat anything that swims and moves, right?
Yes.
So it ate some big fish.
I found an eye.
Yeah, probably of that fish. If you were to cut open this intestine or spiracle valve, you'd find more digested fish. You see that? Yeah, it's turning into poop. So we're not going to really delve into that.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay, so let's just get rid of that. So that was the stomach and the spiracle valve or intestine.
Whoa, it's like
Yep. Now, if you look at this shark, you can kind of see the backbone. You can feel it. It's softer than in the bony fish because why?
yeah.
It's made out of what? Cartilage, right? So it's like bendy and more flexible, right? Again, this is a female shark, and these are what's called their ovary or oviducts. And we're gonna try to see if this is the fish's heart up in here. And we'll look at that in a minute. But what I want to see is if this fish has babies, because these are what's called the ovaries. And sometimes the fish actually will have babies. So we're going to check that out. But that'll be in our next part. So that was the digestive system, the stomach, and the intestines. In just a minute, we're going to check out the ovaries of this female shark.